What's up, YouTube? We just had a very surprise update in Helldivers 2. You've probably seen it, where you have the Predator Strain coming out of the gloom, attacking Fenrir. We gotta defend Fenrir versus this new Predator Strain. Basically, you have new Hunters, and you have new Stalkers coming out of Bug Breaches. The Hunters, to start off, can go invisible. They don't leap as much, it seems. When they get close to you, they will spew. Similar to like spewers, but it's very close range. And the last one is they are fast. They are very fast. Like, they will walk faster than you, and they will zip left and right. And they tend to, like, it seems like they're flanking more often than regular hunters, which is like kind of scary. For the most part, though, it seems like they have very similar HP pools to regular hunters. Your typical shotguns, ARs, cinder weapons, extremely good for them. Now, the more interesting of the two, to some extent, for like changing up how we play, is the Stalkers. Stalkers are now, and they're pretty much designed like the regular Stalkers, just they don't stealth, which means they don't regenerate health, and they don't do the tongue attack, right? And they also don't like fly away like disengage. They are kind of like full on attack. So in a scary way, that they will just keep coming at you and trying to run at you until they die. So they're actually a little bit harder to deal with at times than regular Stalkers, where like you just do a bunch of chip damage and then they just flutter away and fly away and they start regenerating health. These ones are just going to keep bum rushing you, and they can be in like big packs sometimes. Like, there's a couple times where I died today playing with the other content creators, where it's just like 10 of them were on top of you. And it's, well, if I don't have a stun grenade or gas grenade, I'm pretty much screwed. Weapons that I highly recommend is basically anything with stagger, you know, Blitzer, Cookout, Punisher, Dominator, Blitzer to some extent. Crossbow's a little hard to make work if the enemy's getting too close to you, so careful on that one. You know, Concussive Liberator, Pummeler, Halt, you know, doing the Halt tech where you swap between the two ammos quite fast. They've all kind of gotten a big bump when you're fighting these new Stalkers. It can be pretty challenging to deal with if you're not kind of ready for it. I think they've kind of done this to hopefully kind of get Helldivers to stick more together, because dealing with these like large packs of Stalkers can be very challenging if you're solo. So careful with that. So going into like what weapons, like I was talking about, is like things that are knocking back, or if you have a very precise hand, going for those, you know, mouse shots, you know, grabbing some of these like better ARs that have high DPS. You can also look at like the Pummeler. Some of the SMGs are quite good. You don't always need the medium pen, right? Because you're going for the mouth, which is like light pen or no pen, basically, necessary. The knockback of the Punisher, extremely good. Cookout, extremely good for both the Stalkers and the Hunters. The Slugger, if you can hit really good shots, I'm pretty sure it's still one-shot something in the mouth if you can hit mouse shots. The Halt, you're swapping to the EMS rounds to stun them, and then immediately back to the Flechette rounds and going back and forth. If you've never done it on PC, there's a little tip you can have where you go into keybinds, combat, you scroll down to open weapon wheel, select a keybind, make sure it's on press, okay? And then weapon wheel right, press, and the same button. So every time you press the button, it will automatically open up the window and then move it one to the right. So you can swap between Flechette and EMS rounds back and forth. It's really strong. If you're on PC, it's very good for that. I'm not sure if there's a version of that for console, but maybe someone in the comments down below can let me know. Regular shotguns still very good, especially ones that have high DPS output. Careful with crossbow, as I said earlier. This can absolutely get you killed, so be very careful. Punch of Plasma, not bad. Doesn't do much damage, unfortunately, but it is quite good at bullying them. Blitzer, still fantastic. For those enemies that get up close to you, you're stunning them, and then they're basically AFK wanting to die in front of you. You can use the double-edged sickle quite well, especially with the new Salamander armor that's actually in the store right now, so check that out. But just be careful. Don't go too low on your HP, because if you go too low on your HP, you know, that next Stalker that gets slightly too close to you is going to have an even easier time killing you. So be aware of that. Scorcher, still a fantastic one. Just be careful if your ammo supply, it will go fast. Purifier for those more distant shots. The Purifier can absolutely melt Stalkers up close and at far. At far, make sure you're doing the full charge shot. Up close, doing a fast tap fire. It's really good. Torture didn't feel amazing unless you're using the gas guard dog, because a lot of times they are just going to run right through that stream of fire and start hitting you, and then you're often going to light yourself on fire as well when that happens, because it kind of does like a splashback. So careful when using the torture. You're going to want to use something like gas or stuns to help you get that distance. And then the last one that's actually like quite good, especially if you can hit like the mouse shots, like 1-2 shots to kill them, and has a lot of stagger and good fire rate, is the Dominator. Pair that with peak physique, it's going to feel like any other primary, and it feels very good. As far as like support weapons, I used quite a few, but I did definitely find that some were better than others. If you don't particularly bring like a good support weapon, or sorry, primary weapon for like your loadout that's like good versus stalkers, some like excelling ones would be like Stalwart, MG43, especially if you bring the handling armor, the peak physique armor. Autocannon was a true shiner for me. I loved one tapping the stalkers in the head. If you hit them in the mouth, that's their weak point, by the way. The big place you want to hit them is the mouth, that like head area. Now, unfortunately, because they're praying mantises, sometimes their arms are blocking it. But like a lot of weapons that have stagger will kind of drop their arms for them, but always try to aim there. But yeah, one tapping them with the autocannon is fantastic. Sometimes it takes 2 if you miss that headshot, but that's fine. 2 shots is not that bad. Arc thrower, really good, you know, just because of the stunning capability. It might take a lot of time to kill them sometimes if you're not kind of like shooting them head on. So, you know, keep that in mind. Gas and stun grenades, really strong. If you're like feeling overwhelmed, you know, I was just throwing gas grenades at my feet and like backing up and just giving you that like breathing room. The gas guard dog, fantastic if you have not given it a try yet, since they buffed it like what was it, last week basically. Really good, creates a lot of space for you. Now remember, sometimes the enemies will still run towards you and like continue attacking. That's because they're like, basically once they're gassed, they will kind of continue doing their last animation, or as you will, or their last sequence of animations. So what you want to try and do is like back up and like maybe to the left or right to kind of dodge that attack, and then they'll just keep attacking in that same direction, right? So if you find that the gas guard dog's not really working for you, keep that in mind, that sometimes when they get gassed, they're still going to go in that same direction and do that same attack. You just need to reposition. They're essentially blinded, right? Normal guard dogs still quite strong, you know, the ballistic guard dog or the laser guard dog. I was also finding that they kind of go AFK when they first spawn. So if you can spawn camp the like bug breaches, you'll kind of catch them out, because they seem to spawn and then wait there a couple seconds, then they'll start pursuing you. But yeah, for the most part, just don't let them congregate. Like, don't let too many of them get together. You want to like thin the herd as much as possible. For the hunters, you more or less want to try your best to like keep backing up, create space, right? Shoot back up, shoot back up. Because they can do this awesome like 1-2 combo where they will leap at you maybe 10 to 15 meters away. They will hit you and then immediately spew. It's insane when they do it. And if you're wearing light armor, you got to be really careful, because that like 1, 2, 3 can absolutely one-shot you. You'll be dead within like a second. It's really crazy when they do that combo. So like keep an eye out for that. Yeah, really excited to see what other strains we're going to get into the future. You know, are they going to do like exploding ones? Are they going to do like, you know, big boy ones, like armored versions? I think this opens up a lot of possibilities as far as like what the Gloom is going to, you know, show us in the future. And I'm excited to see more. It's a really cool modifier. In many respects, I was talking to my chat that it feels like a difficulty 11 in some regard at times. I'm sure we're going to get better at it, and we're going to be able to deal with the stalkers easier. You know, one thing the stalkers have is that they are very loud. They have the same sound cues as regular stalkers. So, you know, you can definitely hear them coming a lot more often than, you know, other bugs. The hunters seem to, for the most part, fall over pretty easily if you can spot them. So we're going to start to get used to like what we need to look for there. Yeah, it's been a really fun time dealing with this. It has changed how I look at like some of these loadouts, and I'm excited to do my stratagem tier list going forward, which we're going to be doing probably in the next coming weeks. Very excited about that. So yeah. Also, for those who haven't seen, yesterday or today, when you're watching this, or yesterday if you're watching it a little bit later, is my first day of YouTube streaming. You'll catch me live 3 a.m. EST to about noon EST. Obviously, I've been streaming on, Twitch this whole time, but, if you're someone who likes to stick closer to YouTube, come on by. Consider watching and checking out and just watching and asking questions, right? I'm always interacting with chat, trying to get my opinion out there, or just helping out people. I also want to hear from you guys. Remember what I was saying before is check out the Discord link down below. We have like a suggestions page for like just the game in general, like balancing and stuff like that, because I've been discussing a lot of things with the devs, now that I have like a better like avenue of talking to them. I've been suggesting things and just having conversations with them, and I just want to hear what you guys have to say and just like kind of pile that into my brain, hopefully, and so I can get that stuff across to you. So consider dropping by the Discord and talking with me about it. Yeah, very excited to see where this goes. We'll have to see. Obviously, a couple of my tier lists are a little bit outdated now, but for the most part, just think of it as any weapon that has a good amount of stagger or like knockback potential instantly goes up a couple tiers when you're fighting against the Predator strain. It is quite apparent when you're fighting against them that it really does benefit you to bring some kind of weapon that knocks them back. Unfortunately, I was trying to use the Wasp. The Wasp does one-shot them, but unfortunately, the Wasp has that awkward range where if like they're within that 20-meter range, it starts going over them, kind of like the spear, and wasn't my cup of tea. Honestly, I was having a little bit of trouble like having fun with it. AT is still really good, especially if you bring a good primary weapon. Orbital Napalm Barrage, obviously still chef's kiss. Turrets are very strong as well. Gatling Sentry was just mowing through all of them, killing them very fast. So highly recommend that one, or just the MG Sentry. Anything else? I already talked about the Sterilizer. Sterilizer is a good option just to give you that space. Talked about the Guard Dog. Anything else? I think we're happy with it. Yeah. Really happy with this update and looking forward to more bugs. Maybe in the near future we're going to be getting some like Illuminate drops, because like we're obviously going to be fighting a lot of Illuminate as the Meridian black hole gets closer to Super Earth, because we're still going to have to be worrying about those Illuminate, right? As the dark matter grows around the Meridian. So, yeah. Much love. Thank you for watching. Consider dropping a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Come by the stream for some live gameplay every day, except for Mondays. And consider dropping by the Discord if you guys are interested in just having a chat or checking out the balance feedback form. So, much love. Bye, dude. Peace.